So we purchased the house and moved into it in the summer of 1961. It's been a lovely home for our family. We've raised the girls there and they could walk to school and from school events right back home, and of course have a few guests along the line. Pam in particular always had people over and they made pizza and played cards, more boys than girls.
Sorry.
And we had a neighbor down the street, some kids, 3 girls down the street that played with my 3 girls about the same ages, and one of them in particular later on would come up and we'd say if we was eating or something, they'd say, "Come on in, Kathy Jo." Karen in particular, the youngest, which was born after we moved there, as she grew and was roaming the neighborhood, she enjoyed visiting the neighbors and getting their little handouts. She liked to go down to Mary Miller's, in particular on the corner. She didn't want to say that she wanted a cookie. She just said, my mama said I couldn't ask for a cookie. So my mother and dad lived next door. After Dad got hurt and took extra care, they bought the house next door and built a sidewalk between the 2 houses so we could push him back and forth in the wheelchair. He was in the hospital in Columbia for 100 days. The house was built in the early 1900s. It had been well taken care of but needed a lot of updating. And there was only 2 plug-ins in the whole house, one in the kitchen and one in the dining room. The kitchen would be an unusual paint for today. It was a white background with a green, avocado green paint for the woodwork and the cabinets. And then in that kitchen we had to strip all the wallpaper off and paint it. And then paper the ceiling because it were all tall ceilings. We had the upstairs, the girls slept upstairs, which was all one big room. Until later in life we did make petitions for it. And when my dad was hurt, Mom and Dad lived with us for a while, and Ivan and I was in the other room upstairs. So we made good use of the house. Pam in particular had her wedding reception at that house after she got married. She was married at the First Christian Church with Ed McLaughlin as the minister. He married all 3 of the girls.
Mom made a lot of stuff for us. Well, she made my prom dresses.
I made your wedding
Well,
dress.
my wedding dress.
I made Pam's wedding dress and I made Karen's wedding dress.
So she did a lot of sewing. She used to do alterations for Myers
Clothing
Clothing
store.
uptown. Mom said that Grandpa made the kitchen set that we used to play with. It was like a refrigerator and a stove, and we played with it all the time when we were little. It's always been pink. Always.
And now it's sitting in the garage as storage. We had the family there a lot on Sundays, and as later on we owned the newspaper while we lived there, and so by Sunday afternoon we'd have to go back down to the office and clean the office and get things ready for Monday, so we didn't always have a long afternoon for visiting. And it was a lot of times I had some of the grandchildren come and stay all night the night before, and we would have a candy making before Christmas time. But the kids always enjoyed coming, the ones that was at an age that could do that. There was some that was younger and couldn't, but anyway.
Did we used to make peanut brittle?
Yeah,
I think we did.
we had peanut butter fudge sometimes. The picture at the front door is Jesus knocking at the door, and it was given to us as a wedding gift from Ivan's folks. If those walls could talk, they'd have a lot to say, more than I do.
You didn't probably know that. I'm sorry.